Yeah. So as we are good with like in JavaScript basics and all, so as I shared you like in few of our resources regarding that to learn about like in basics of JavaScript. So go through that whenever you have free time. Okay. So meanwhile, let's get into like in ServiceNow scripting. So keep the heading as ServiceNow scripting or scripting in ServiceNow. ServiceNow scripting. Write it down. And I'm about to share you the documents as well. So today I'll share those to like so that which you can check it up. Write it down. ServiceNow provides ServiceNow provides APIs. ServiceNow provides APIs which has which has which has classes and methods that you can use in scripts that you can use in scripts that you can use in scripts to define functionality to define functionality. Full stop. I'll repeat again. ServiceNow provides APIs which has classes and methods that we can use in scripts to define functionality. These APIs are same next line, sorry. Next line. These APIs are these APIs are same as same as JavaScript classes, JavaScript classes, JavaScript classes, full stop. Next line. In ServiceNow scripting, in ServiceNow scripting, we have both we have both server and client side scripting, server side scripting and client side scripting. Server side and client side. Next line. ServiceNow APIs or else strike it up. I'll rephrase it again. We use Glide APIs. We use Glide APIs Glide APIs to work with ServiceNow to work with service now. The following are few Glide APIs and write it down. First one, Glide Record. These are Glide APIs actually. We use Glide APIs to work with ServiceNow. The following are few Glide APIs. First one, Glide Record. Next one, Glide Form. Next one, Glide User. And we have Glide System. Glide System. Next we have Glide Session. Next, Glide Date. Glide Date and Time, etc. Glide Date and Time, etc. So if you want to know more about like in Glide APIs, you can check it in the docs.servicenow.com. You will find out like in a lot there. We have a Glide Aside, Glide Dialog Window, Glide List we have, Glide Aggregate. Okay, so all this we have. Okay, etc. So let us discuss about this first, and then we'll go with like in Glide Record, and I'm going to explain the Glide Record today. Okay, and the rest of the thing is just like a similar to the Glide Record only. I'm going to share the document for these stuff. Okay, so if you are good with like in these thing, it will be easy to go through like in each and every Glide API over here. Okay, so it will be like a very understandable with the what is the method which we are using and what's the purpose of that, and sample script will be there. And after execution, what will the result also it will display clearly in the document. So it will be very easy for you to, okay, so whenever going with the next one, so it will be easy for you people as well. So to this class, I'm going to cover like in Glide Record completely, and just go to the rest of the documents whenever you get free time. And from tomorrow, I'll go with like in the concepts. Let me show you where we are now. So if I open the concept list over here, so we are done with like in the administration part, and now we are with the JavaScript basics is like in 10, right? And then was just going to like in what is Glide APIs and server-side scripting, what it has, and client-side scripting, what it has. Okay, and this is the part which we will cover today, and along with the background script and fixed script if we have time. Okay, and from tomorrow, the actual concepts, whatever which we use in projects. So even this also which we use actually everything. But whereas from tomorrow we'll start with like in client script, business rules, UI actions, script includes, and all those one by one. Okay, so let us go with like in developing, and later we'll go with the integrations later. Okay, so let me go back to like and the concept today. So scripting in service now. So as we know that we just need to know about like a JavaScript basics to work with this tool, and the actual thing, whatever the instance is available right now, which we can see over here, everything was implemented by using Java. Okay, but whenever we are working with like in the tool, actual tool, that is the kind of like in JavaScript, and in the JavaScript which you are going to use are Glide APIs. So if you are good with like in these two, it will be really you can feel more comfortable to work with like an even a scripting as well in ServiceNow. Okay, so as we discussed earlier, this is a low code or no code platform which we use less coding over here. It's just depending on like in the requirement, how much of coding which you are using. If it is like a more, it depends on requirement. If it is like a normal customizations or configurations, then we will not go much to by using like in scripting. We'll go with like in the developing administration concepts, whatever which we discussed, and there we might go ahead with like in a simple line of script or something depending on requirement. Okay,
Priyanka,
so
one question. Sorry.
yeah, yeah.
You mentioned server side and client side. So
Mhm.
glide record is common for both
Glide
servers.
record is server side. I'll explain that as well,
Okay.
which will come under server side and which will come under client side. I'm going to cover that too.
All right. Thanks.
Okay, yeah. So, ServiceNow scripting is something we do have a Glide APIs, which has like in classes and methods as well. So we are going to utilize these things to define a functionality. So here the functionality is nothing but the requirement or the activity what we just need to fulfill to the client. Okay, so that's what about like in the functionality refers to. So here we are going to use both the server side scripting and client side as well. Okay, so client side, as we discussed earlier, client side is something, it's a UI or else the web browser. Whenever we are working with like an the UI things, UI is nothing but user interface, right? Let's say this is one of our UI. So if there is like any configurations or else customizations which I just need to work on, okay, so then I'll go with the client side. If I want to deal with like in different tables, database, okay, or servers and all this, then I'll go with the server side scripting. Okay, so both will be like an easy only, no need to worry. Okay, so few scriptings is which I can define. Client script is something we go with the client scripts is nothing but client side. That is like an UI policy, UI pages, UI actions. All this comes under client side. And UI actions is somewhere which will work for both server side and client side too. Okay, whereas if I go with like in server side, that is like in business roles, scripting includes, okay, schedule jobs and all this we have in a server side. And I'll explain so which Glide APIs will belongs to like in client side and which Glide APIs will belongs to server side. So let's say example Glide form, Glide user, Glide exact, Glide dialog window, Glide list and menu will go with the client side, whereas server side is something Glide record, Glide system, Glide date and time, Glide aggregate, Glide date, Glide element, all this comes under server side. Okay, so let me show you like in each and every thing as well over there. So we are going to use like in Glide APIs to work with like in service now. So these are the few Glide APIs. So we will go through like in discussing about like in Glide record now. Okay, so just keep a heading as Glide record. Anyhow, I'm gonna provide document for each and everything, but for like an better understanding, just keep noting. Glide record. Write it down. Yeah. Write it down. ServiceNow developer. ServiceNow developer often often OFTAN often often use Glide API or Glide record in ServiceNow platform
Ma'am, can you repeat the sentence once again?
yeah. ServiceNow developer often uses glide record in ServiceNow platform to change default behavior to change default behavior of the applications to change default behavior of the applications and customize existing functionalities and customize existing functionalities. Customize existing functionalities. Next line. Glide record is used to perform important line which I can say used to perform CRUD operations instead of writing SQL queries. SQL queries. I'll repeat again. Glide record is used to perform CRUD operations instead of writing SQL queries. Okay, so here we are going to utilize this glide record very often actually. Very frequently we use glide record to work with like server-side scripting. And I showed you on like in schedule jobs as well, right? So there I have used glide record to glide the incident table and to filter the resolved incidents, resolved the state who's having a the incidents who's having a resolved state. So I have filtered there on that day. So in the same way which we are going to use this glide record very frequently, which we are going to perform by using CRUD operations. CRUD operations is something. C stands for create, R stands for read, U stands for update, and D stands for delete. So I can create a record, I can read the records, I can update the records, I can delete the record. So these operations which I can perform by using glide record. Okay, so usually if I want to create or read or update or delete these operations, we generally use SQL queries, right? So what we'll do instead of like in writing these things, we use glide record to perform these CRUD operations actually. Let's say if I want to insert a record, so I will use a query, but by using like an insert method, and I will give a column names with the values as well as a SQL queries. Whereas here, no need to go with like in all the queries for each and everything. So simply we use glide record to perform all these CRUD operations. Okay, so let's get into like, and there is a document actually. So let me show you that. So I'm going to share you this document to you people as well. Okay, after this class. So this document folder which I'm going to share you. So as of now, you just go through like in this, I'm going to cover glide record, and whenever you have free time, so just check it out like in these stuff as well. If you are good with like in this thing, today's class, okay, so it will be very easy to understand this rest of his stuff as well. Okay, so if there is like any queries regarding these things, so you can let me know later, which we can discuss. Okay, so without wasting our time, so this is the glide record thing which I have showed you over here. This is the document which I have opened right now. So let us follow like in one each and every thing over here available, and I'll tell you how we are going to do this and how you people need to practice it as well. Okay, so see this glide API is something. So whenever you get free time, so you just go to like an each and every line and just understand this thing. So the I'm gonna cover like in the most important points over here. Okay, and I will go with like an each and every method which is available over there. Okay, so if we have time, so I'm gonna complete everything. If not, we'll discuss that everything over here only. Okay, so let us see, discuss about like and see that is a Glide API. Okay, so Glide API is something. So this is for something the API which we use very frequently. So existing functionality which we can work on to customize or to configure anything, and then which I can change the default behavior as well. Let's say there is a platform in a ServiceNow platform, there is one customization is available as a default. So if I want to change something, if I want to modify something, okay, so then I can use this Glide API. So the main point which we just need to perform is nothing but by using Glide APIs, we can perform some database operations instead of writing any SQL queries. Instead of writing like an SQL queries, we are going to use these Glide classes. Okay, so each API has like a lot of methods and each method perform different operations in ServiceNow applications actually. So let's go into like in types of Glide APIs we have. We do have the client side and server side, right? So client side comes under these things, Glide form, user, ASAC, dialog window, list and menu. And whereas if I go with like in server side, we do have a Glide record, Glide system, Glide date and time, Glide aggregate and Glide date and Glide element. Okay, so let us discuss about like in Glide record and how we are going to use that. Okay, so as I told you, this is the most common thing which we use very frequently in our service now. Okay, so this is something we call it as we use in a server side. This we will work with like in to perform CRUD operations instead of writing SQL queries. Okay, so this one handles with like in all the tables as well. Okay, so if I go a bit down, see, just check it out like in, the architecture as well. So here, this is the most common thing we discussed, and this will work on like in server side. Instead of using SQL queries, we use this, we perform CRUD operations. So we already discussed all this. Okay, so insert we have, update we have, delete record we have. So these are like in something, the results which we get. Okay, so if we use this one, we might lose the data sometimes. Okay, for that which we are using a Glide record. So see, this is the architecture actually. So instead of passing like an SQL queries, we use JavaScript. See, this is let's say this will take it as like a now platform. So if I write something, the script or something, whatever which I write, so usual method is like in the SQL, which we will use it, the queries, and it will go to the query database and it will execute. So instead of using this one, what we are using JavaScript to work with. Okay, so that's just nothing but Glide API. So here we are in Glide record. Okay, so this is an architecture which we are using a JavaScript instead of using SQL. Okay, or else simply I can say we are using Glide record instead of using SQL. Okay, so this is something, this is what something which we just need to focus on. Okay, so here see where INC is equal to new glide record of incident. So here what we are doing, so by using like a glide record, so we are just gliding the incident table and then creating an object over here, and we are storing all the incident records in this INC. So we have used the glide record here, and the table which we use is like an incident. Okay. And then the next line is like in we are using add query. So add query is something they are taking a category of software. So those incidents who having a category software, so I'm filtering it by using add query. So I'm just gliding a table and I'm adding a query is nothing but a filter. Okay, and running a program. So see here, inc.query is nothing but running or executing it. Okay, so whenever I click on run button in the list view of any of a table, okay, it will come up. Right. So in that way, I'm just using like in the variable dot query. Query is nothing but run. Okay, and there might be like in multiple records as well. So I use like in while loop, while with like an variable dot next, the next record will go ahead, and I'm just printing a short description over there. So I'm just querying the table, instant table, and then adding a filter over there. I'm running it and then going with the loop as well. And finally, I'm using a fields to print as well. Okay, so let me show you. It's like a manual process over here. What exactly it's like in happening. So we have a filter here, right? So let's say if I want to get a category software records here. So what I'll do, I click on filter and I will go with the field. Just select the field over here. Okay, and category operator which I will add it. And if it is software, I'll just select the software and I'll click on run. Okay, so this is a manual process which I do to filter to get the records. So how many are there? It's like in here 9. So what if I want to do the same operations by using script? Is nothing but the same thing which we did over here, right? So see where I am. So I'm just going to like an instant table by using script, and then I'm filtering the software and I'm running it. I'm just going to like an each and every line, every record over here. And I'm printing the short description. And after finishing this, and the loop will go to the next record as well, and it will print the short description. And then it will go with the next record too by using like an while loop, and it will print the short description. So that's how the sample script, whatever which is available here is, that's how actually. Okay, so let us execute this and I'll show you this too as well. Okay, so before going into that, let us discuss about like in glide record methods available. Okay, so we are going to use all this one. So query, we will already used it, right? So we have already used this one query, and add query also we used it over here. See, add query, add active query, add encoded query, we use this once. In schedule jobs only we have used this one. Okay, add inactive query we have, next, get, set limit, order by. So each method has like a different functionality. Okay, so different operation which it will provide. See here, delete record, we are going to update it, or else we are going to create a record, we'll use an initialize. If I want to delete multiple, I'll use this. If I want to use like in multiple records to be like an updated, I'll use this. So can create, can read, giving an operations as well, permissions as well. So these everything which I can use by using glide record methods. Let us get into like an each and everything and we'll discuss those stuff as well. See, these are the few more methods we have. Practically, all these things will work. Okay, so we are going to discuss each and every one method over here, and I'm going to show you like in how that will work. Okay, so let us go with like in the first one. So we need to use like in background script to work with, or else we can use a fixed script as well. So let me tell you about like in background script here. So background script is something if I want to test something, or else if I want to run something else, instead of going with like in direct, concepts like client script or business rules or something else. Okay, so there is a background script, just like a inspect we have for like an, rest of the uh, programming languages. We have JavaScript, we go with like an inspect and we'll go with that, right? So here we have a background script. Okay, script background also, which we can say. So in the system definition, we have script background allows an admin user to write and execute free form scripts. Okay, so just open this one background script. So this background script is something. So if I have like an SN util, so this will come up. So as of now, this is not required. So just focus on like in this one. So if I have this one, so it will be in a colored format. Whatever which I write, everything will come up. If SN util is not there, it will be like just like a plain text, just like a notepad. It will be when as soon as I open this one. So that's what I got it, right? See here, this one. This is the view which will get it as I have like an SN util. So I'm getting this one. Okay, so if you have that, that's fine. If you don't have that, you can take it as like an from extend, just type it out like an SN util, and you can add that to your Chrome. Okay, or else you can skip for now as well. It's not a much one. So if I remove this one, remove from Chrome, and it will not be available for me. Okay, so this is the background script which we use. So background script is something the only the server side script only will execute. So let's say example, if I keep any of a script over here and if I click on here the run script, okay, and it will execute and the changes also will impact in the instance as well. So whatever the script, whatever which we wrote over here will apply over there too. Okay, so background script is something we are going to run a scripts over here to execute or else to check something or else to you just need to run the script only once. Okay, you just have to check something, how many records are there with this one, or else whether this is coming up or not. So the that kind of things which you can go ahead, or else you just need to update something, or else you need to update multiple. Okay, let's say example, if I wanna do with like in yeah, description to like to I just need to add something over here for all the records depending on filter. Okay, so going over here and double tapping over here and copy pasting and everything is like it's a time taking and it's not a good practice too, right? So what I can do, I can write a script in a background script and then I can execute it. That will be apply over there. Okay, that's how which we use background script actually. So if this SN util is not there, let's say if I remove this. So even this should also, you just need to be aware of this too, right? So see, this is the thing which will be available. If SN util is there, well, let me go with like, both of the things and we'll show the difference of two.
Priyanka, can
Yeah,
we exclude SN utils because probably
yes.
most of the people are not using SN utils. So
Yeah, that's what I'm
uh,
just explaining you. We have an option. If you want, you can add or else you can remove. That's what I'm showing you how to remove and how to add. Is your, your question is like, and yes, we can. Okay. It's not mandatory thing. So that is a thing, option which we have if you want to use or else if you can ignore it as well. Okay, so this is about like in the background script which is available here. So as soon as I click on like and run script, the script will get executed and the result will display over here. And there is like in one more, just like a background script, that's we call it as a fixed script, is also something the same just like a background script only, but this we are going to use, we can save the script as well. Let's say example, if I write any script over here and if I click on run script, okay, I'll get the execution result over here. But anyhow, the script whatever which I have written, it will be erased later. If I want to keep the script just like in my service now instance only, I need to save the script as well. I will use fixed script by adding on like a name and what's the purpose of like in using this, and then I can add the script over here and I can submit it, and after submitting there will be like in run fixed script and button will come up. Okay, there I can utilize this. Both are same, only the option which are available for the advanced advantage over here for like a fixed script is I can save the script and I can keep it in my instance. Okay, so let me go back to like in the script which is available over here. So the first one is nothing but, so how to get a result or output in ServiceNow? So we can use like a gs.print or a gs.info, and we do have a logs as well. So the logs will go into like a system logs and we can check it up. So if I want to print something, so just I'm just copy pasting it because we don't have much time. So when you are doing, so these methods and all, you please type it out from your end. Okay, so that will help you to remember the methods in methods and everything. Okay, see here, I got a result called welcome to ServiceNow Academy. So this is the one which I'm gonna print it, right? So that's how which we use like in gs.print to print the result. Okay, so not only this specific thing, so you can print like in whatever which you want. Okay, so we will discuss all the things as well in later. So, and if I want to add to them, it's like a very easy. So just creating a variables a, b, and adding it to like an a plus b, and we are printing it just like this. It will work on. So I'm just skipping it for now because it's working simple thing. Okay, so this is what something which we need to focus on. See here, working with query method. So query method is something, see here, we are just gliding a incident table. See, we do have like a glide record is main object and incident is table. So we are just creating an object over here and then inc dot query. We are just querying a table. And then we are using a while loop that should run for like a recurring purpose, and then we are just printing the number of a incident. So we will get like and see the result will be print all record numbers in incident table. Okay, so if I take this, if I take and if I print this, if I execute this, I'll get like an all the incident numbers. Okay, so let me do that. So go back to like an background script. Okay, so this is just the comments there, no? So comments things will not execute anyhow, just for like a better understanding, they have added it. As we discussed, right, we can add a comments for like an understanding purpose as well. So they just added the comments over there for each and every line so that which we can understand. So what I'm doing over here, I have created one variable is by using like an inc, and this is an object. By using like a glide record, I'm gliding an instant table and querying it, and I'm querying it and I'm just adding a number. So the number is nothing but the backend value of a number field. Let me show you that as well. We are going to use the backend values only for each and everything, as this is like a closer record. Let me go to the new record over here. Yeah, see here, the backend value of the number is the number, and the backend value of the table instant is instant. If you are going to try with like an custom table, use backend values of a table and for the fields as well. Okay, so click on run script. See, I got all the incident numbers over here. Just give me a second. Yeah, so let's continue. So that's how which we can print the number of records actually. Okay, so let me go back to like another one.
Priyanka, one question here.
Yeah.
If you just write the query again and let us say we want to show first 10 incidents, how do we do that?
Yeah, we have a set limit. So we do have like an all the things by using like in see there is a set limit, right? So we can use like a set limit by we can mention the limit of a records, 10 records, 100 records. So in that way, which we can use it. When that also I'm gonna cover. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. By using set limit method, we can fulfill that. And here see that we can work with like inquiry, add query, and next and while as well. So let me take like an, I just need to get a priority is one. So priority one is nothing but the critical, right? So the backend value of a critical is one. So they just mention like in one value over there. Okay, so where inc is equal to new glide record of incident. So we are, as usual, we are just gliding a table and we are querying it. Add query is something. We are adding a filters, add the query. Okay, we are running it and we are going ahead with like in the number. So let us find out priority is equal to one. How many are there? We go back to do all and the priority. So it's like in one is critical, right? So let me click on show matching. And these are the records which I have with this one, 19 are there. Okay, so now I'm going to print these numbers. How many incidents are there with this one. So what I'm doing, I'm just querying with like in priority is equal to 1. Okay. So just click on runtime. So these 19 is like in available here. See, you can check it up as well. The priority is critical for this. So based on our filter, which we will get it. If I click on this arrow mark, I'll get the script as well. So in that way, which we can filter whatever the values might be. So which we are going to query the condition over there, and we will click on run. It's nothing but run script and it will work on. Okay, so that's how what like in add query, which we are going to add the filters. Okay, so what if I want to add multiple filters at the same time? So let's say even in ServiceNow as well, we will add like in multiple conditions over here, right? By adding filters, see, priority is critical and number starts with this one. So if I want to add multiple filters over here, so I can add by clicking on and or. So what if I want to do this in ServiceNow too? Scripting in scripting service no scripting, so if I can add multiple queries by using one by one as well, add query, and the next line also add queries. The first query is active true, the next query is priority is equal to 1, and the next query is category is software. So these three queries which I can do one by one as well. So see here, we go back to like in, we remove these two. Let's say priority is critical and the category is, let me take the category from here. Let's say category is software. So these are the things, and then active will come up. So active is nothing but other than closed, all the records are active. Okay, so let me take this one. So what I'm doing here, I'm just sliding the instant table and I'm adding three queries. One is like an active true, priority one, category software. So if I run this, while you are doing it, don't copy paste it, please type it up. Okay, so I got only two because so the if I filter out the closed one, closed incidence is not an active instance actually. See 0, 5 and 5 were the things 0, 5 and 5 4. We got that according to our filter. Right, so this is how which we can add multiple queries as well, one by one.
Yeah,
Let's
Priyanka, in filters we can use and or operators, right?
yes, we can.
In
Everything
the
is coming.
scripting, how can we differentiate with and or?
Even that also will come. Just hold on. All the methods which we have, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to discuss that as well. So if I scroll down, so operations also available. See here.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so just hold on. I'm gonna cover each and everything. If still after finishing like and all the things, if you still feel something is like a missing or something is like and you have queries, you can ask me.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So that's how which we just need to go ahead with like in one by one query also we can go ahead. Okay, so that's how which we executed here too. Let's say instead of like in using this one by one line over here, so here it's taking like in 3 lines of space. So what if I want to use the query? So if I copy query, so there is a filter also will come up, right? So instead of like in using the query, so I just need to use this one. So what I can do, there is an encoded query. Okay, so add encoded query, this method which I can use it. So how to do this one? So you people already know. Click on like and filter, go to your filter conditions one by one, whatever which you want, and then click on run. And in the end of a breadcrumb, wherever you want whole, filter condition, just right click on here and click on copy query. And then you can copy query and you can use this encoded query and you can copy over there. See, they have copied active is equal to true, category software and priority one, the same thing. So same query they have added like in the 3 lines here. Okay, whereas if I go down here, see, in a single line, the 3 conditions is like in satisfying here. So what we can do, just let me copy this and we'll show you how. it works. Go back to like in background script, click on run script. See again the same worked actually 54 and 05. Okay, so that's how which we can add encoded query so that which you can work on. Let me zoom this one so that the script will, yeah. So add encoded query. So we can add multiple conditions over here and which we can run this. So if I click on this, I got two records, 54 and 05. That's what which is there in even here as well, 05 and 54. Right. So let me, yeah. So now let me go with like in the next one. The next method which is available is add query. So here we have like in say add query, you can add the string operator and value. So let me go back to like in what it is exactly. So here's the priority we have. This is a field and this is an operator and this is the value. Okay, that's what which we are discussing over here. Add query, we can add a field over here and we can add the operator, whether it is like an, is equal to, not is equal to, and all these things. Okay, end with, and then value as well. Okay, so we are going to add like in all the things is equal to, not is equal to, greater than is equal to, less than is equal to, and we'll go with the strings as well. So the strings which will go with like in, not in, starts with, ends with, contains, does not contain, and instance of. So everything which go with like in one by one. So see here priority less than or equal to 2. So then what will get it? The priority value having a critical and the high also will get it. Okay, so 2 will come up. So let me go back to the background script. Okay, so if I give this one. So now what I'm doing, I'm just using a field value. Okay, and then I'm using like an operation and the value as well. Okay, so if I query this, see these are the incidents which satisfying this condition. Okay, so if I want to add like an one by one, and as you were telling like an and or conditions over here, right? So if I click on run, I'll show you how that works. So here priority is equal to 1, category is equal to software and everything. Let's say if I cancel this, if I click on like an or condition. So now these two are like an and this is a or condition. Okay, let me go with the hardware. And if I run this one. So now see here we do have like an or. So you can copy this and you can utilize this as well. So whatever might be like in the and or, so you can utilize it. So if you want to use directly without like a script, you need to go ahead with like an and or. So you can utilize the or with like an this symbol. Okay, and which we can go with like in this symbol. Okay, so by using these two, which you can add the conditions as well. Okay, so these are the operators which we use to go ahead with like an and or condition. So instead of using that one, it will be easy to copy the query from here and use that by using a encoded query method. Okay, so let me go with like in, so this is something which we can go by using a field and an operator and the value as well. So not only for priority, you can go with like an, any of the field as well. Okay, so check it out this as well. See here, and one more thing is like in contain. So they are just giving like in the operators which is available here. See, is not, is one of, is not one of, is empty. So all these things. So instead of like in using this, I prefer going with like an encoded query, copying it and adding that method. Okay, if that is not preferable from your end, you can use by this, you adding on like in these operations also will work on. So what they are using over here, if I click on like in contain, so where inc is equal to glide recorded the incident, they are gliding the incident. Okay, they're adding add active query. So here, this is what something we need to Hold on. So add active query is nothing, but if I add query, what will happen? It will take the filters over there, right? So if what if it is like an active query? Only the active records will come up. Active true and active false we have, right? So only the active records will come. Okay, so I can add like in queries as well later, one by one. So here I'm just using like in C contains. So short description contains SAP SCP. So and the priority having 1 and 2. And I'm just displaying or else I'm just printing the short description. So this is a variable dot backend value of a short description which I can print by using print instance number with a short description. And one more thing, why we are using here the plus is nothing but whenever we want to separate it, whenever let's say I just need to mention the space over here between this and this, we just need to use this plus icon as a concatenating with these two, and we will use the plus icon. INC is nothing but a variable and dot number. So the output will come up with like an instant number space with a short description. So let us test this one. So just go back to like in background script and then type it up. See here, this is the number and here I'm getting the space and then here see I have SAP. Short description contains SAP. So those things will come up actually. Okay, so that's how which we are going to use. Implies like in the operations available, but contains. Okay, so let me go back. So you got this right. So what we are doing, we are just filtering with like an only the active instance we should come up. Active instance is nothing but other than closure records. Okay, from new to state to resolve state, we call it as an active instance, and inactive instance, we call it as a closure records. Okay, so only the active instance will come up and we have an inactive as well. If I want to get like an inactive instance, add inactive query also, I can use it. And I'm just adding a add query and then there is a short description which contains like in SAP. And I'm just using like in while record because there might be like in multiple incidents that should go in a recurring manner. So that's how I just need to use this one. Okay, so let me go back to like the next method. And here see they are using like in category contain cat. So we can go ahead with like in this as well. In we have right inside. Okay, soft and here what they are doing, cat is something, the variable which they have created, just like an array, software and hardware, and they are using this cat, whether the category software or hardware is there in our filter or not. Whether it is there, if it is there, then we'll get the value of the number and we'll get a short description of that too. Okay, so working in operation and print category of software and hardware. So we will work with like an in mentioning like in whether it's there or not. If there, we will get the category with a proper number and short description too. Okay, so that's how which we'll work with the in operator. Okay, and if I go back, if I go here, see starts with, so the operators, whatever which is available, so each and everything which is, so starts with is nothing but, we have a option called starts with, right? Name starts with, username starts with, if I go with like in column. So for the priority, I'm not getting with starts with, I'll get it. See here, starts with we have. Okay, even for the category, if I click here, I do have a starts with operator. So starts with operator is something, the value, whatever which we are getting. So whether it's starting with the value, whatever we are giving or not. Okay, so value starts with NAT. So network, whatever the category having a network will come up. So if I execute this, so what they are doing, they're gliding an instant table. The filter they have mentioned is category with starting with the net. And that incident number we are going ahead. See here, 390203 and 49. So even I can print the category as well. Instead of like a number, I can add the category backend value and I'll get the category. See, is network, I got it. Okay, so you can print whatever the value might be, not only the number. You can go with like in, let's say I just need to check on for these things, for this specific condition or filter, whatever which I mentioned over here, I need to check a short description or priority or caller or assignment group, or else you assign to, or else description, maybe like in state of that one. Okay, so that also will come up. So let me go with like in state, just give the backend value of it. See here, state 1, 3, 2 is nothing but the backend value of those. One is for new, two is for in progress, that way. Okay, so let me go back. Add active query. So we already discussed about this. Active query is something where the incidents are incident active is like in true, which is not closure records. Instead of using active is equal to true, we can use add active query. Okay, so that's how which we'll go with like an add active query. So while you're practicing, check it out like an each and every method. It will be very understandable manner actually. See here add inactive query we have. So this method, why we need to use, we do have an explanation. Instead of using active is equal to false, this method directly we can use it. And we have a sample script and how that looks. See if I use a SN util, this coloring will come up. Without like an SN util, it will be just like a plain. Okay, so if you are interested to go with this, or if you wanna try this one, just add that to like in Chrome SN util and you can try this up. Okay, and we'll get a result as well. Okay, so now see, let us go ahead with like an inactive. See here, print only inactive records like incident state is closed. Okay, so those incident state is like enclosed will come up now because we are using add active query. Okay, see, let us test it whether this 0151 is closed incident or not. See, now the state is like enclosed. Okay, so that's how we work with this method. And let me go back, get encoded query. So we can get use like and get encoded query as well from our code. Okay, so see what we are doing, just we are adding like an add encoded query. Okay, and we are using the filter condition over there. Okay, our encoded query will be printed over here. See, my encoded query, whatever the filter which I have used it. Okay, I got this one. If I want to test this one, I can utilize this. Okay, and order by. So if I want to utilize this order by, so it will go ahead with like in ascending order. Okay, so order by is something, so which one should come first? The order, it display all the records in order wise only. Okay, so here what I'm doing, I'm just gliding an instant table with a priority one and then category software, and then I'm ordering by with like in short description. So it will start from like an ascending order. It's like in from lower value to higher value, it will come up. From A, it will start and it will go ahead. Okay, so that's how which the order by will work out. So see, print all incidents order wise depending on short description. So if I go with like in some other field as well, even that also will work. And see, there is like an order by ascending is something simply we'll use this. If it is like in descending, we'll use order by descending. Okay, so that's how it will be. And we'll go with like in the next one as well. Set limit. So set limit is something, see here, we are going to display the limited records as well. Let's say for my uh, query, there might be like 1,000 records, but I just need to display, or else I just need to showcase only 15 records or 20 records. What I can do after or mentioning like in the filter before the query methods, I just you need to utilize set limit, the variable dot set limit. If I mention here 20, only 20 records will come up. If I mention only two will come up. So let's try this one. So copy it and go ahead with like in paste it. So I'm just adding the 10 records. So now only 10 records will come up. See, only 10. So let's say if I change it to like in 2 or 3. Okay, so run it, only 3. See here, 035355, only 3 is coming up. That's how which we can set the limit as well, how many records should execute, should display. Okay, see, print only latest 10 records created from given table. Only latest things will print. Okay, and get method. So get method is something which we use to get the values actually. So get record society depends on incident number, or get incident record number depending on like a society. So depending on like a society, we'll get it. So see here, we are just using a glide record by gliding an incident table, and I'm using inc.get. So getting a number of that, and I'm going to print the society. So society will print according to that. So let me go ahead with this. 1 second, guys. So that's how it will be. Getting the values is something. We are just getting the society of the specific value, specific incident number. Because incident society is something, the unique ID which we have for each and every record. Okay, so if I click on like in society, so this is the one more example. So I can get the number of that one. Okay, so choose window. So choose window is something. So display records between two numbers. Let's say example, I do have like in 10 records. Okay, so in this, among these 10 records, I just need to get a records from 4th record to 10th record. Maybe like in from 5th to sequence number from 5th to 10th. So in that way, which we can use this choose window. So just go with like an as of here, it's like an similar. Here see inc dot choose window 37. So from 3rd record to 7th record, it will come up. Include first value, excluded second value. Okay, see here, first how the result will come up. Print records from number 3 to 7. 4 records will come up. Okay, and first number includes and second number will be like an excluded. So third will come up, 3, 4, 5, 6 will come up, 7 will not. So that's how it will be. Choose window is, that's one. And then get row count. It's like a really important which we use, in our projects as well. So get row count is something which we are going to display how many records are there. Okay, so let's say example, if I copy this. So if I click on run query, so I'll get how many incidents are there. So I'll get like a count of the incident records. So I can add a query as well if I want. So even for the queries also, it will work. So how we are going to use inc.get row count. Okay, so that's how which we use it actually. Okay, and the next thing is like we go back to like a next one. Get table name. So if I want to using something and I just need to get a table name, I can use this one. So in that way, get value. So if I want to get any value of any field, okay, so then I'll get the values over here of any of a field. Maybe like depending on now a condition also I can go ahead. Active is equal to 2 or priority is equal to 1 or 2 and category is something else. Okay, so in that way, which I can go with like in one by one. So get value is something, we will get a value for particular field in a table, whatever the table which we mentioned over here. So what they are doing over here, they're just clicking on like a glide record with an incident, and they're adding a filter active is equal to true. So all the active incident true values, we are getting a short description of that. Okay, so let me show you how the output will be there for this. Okay, so click on run script. See, for all the incident records, I'm just getting like the short description for those. So which we can get a value of the records depending on like our filter condition. So if I mention here instead of like in short description, if I add category. Okay, so the category values will come up. Okay, so that's how it will be. And let's go with like in the next one, get display value. So get value is something we'll go with like an each and every particular field, whereas it's for like an display value instead of actual value. So here what will happen? We are going to print display value of respective field. So only for respective field, it will come up depending on like an R condition. Okay, so it will come up. So see here, I'm just gliding an instant record with a filter, critical. Okay, and I'm just getting a priority display value. And this display value we use for like an, reference fields. Okay, so see, we are just getting like in the values over here. Okay, so if I go back and has next is something, it will returns the true. 1 second, guys. Give me a minute. Yeah, guys, thank you. Sorry, my kid is crying and no one is there in the home, so sorry for bothering. Okay, so here see that we are having like a has next. Has next is something. This method will return like in true. We do have like in iterations, right? Let's say example has next is something. Do we have a value of the next or not? The next value we do have or no value or not. So that's how it will showcase. Okay, so we are running out of the time as well, I guess. So what I'll do, so the rest of the methods and also there is a video regarding all the methods which I have explained you before. Okay, so I will upload that as well along with this one. Okay, just check it out like an each and every method and practice from your end too. And one more thing which you just need to know, do is nothing but after finishing this glide record thing. So this glide record thing is like an really important, which we use for like in all the most probably we use very frequently in all the projects as well. Okay, so we are going to use this glide record for mostly all the server side scripts. Okay, so just check it out like in this glide record first and make sure you are good with like an each and everything over here, and then open your background script and type it out each and every line over here, and then check it out whether you're getting a proper expected result or not. If yes, it's fine. If not, please let me know, and you can re-verify with like in if you are missing something else over here. Okay, after finishing all the methods, just check it out the document which I'm going to share you today. I hope so here. Yeah. So this is like an after finishing this, just check it out the form, users and everything. So if I open the form, it will be just similar to the glide record only, but the methods will change up. See here, the glide form methods. Okay, so that's how which we will be. So just like glide record only, it will be there working with like in the method and the purpose of using it and the sample script and the again we do have a result as well. So in the same way we'll get it. So check it out like in these documents as well. Okay, so if you want time, just take time as well. Maybe like in tomorrow or else, maybe 2 days or something else, you can take time and just go to like an each and every method and of all the documents. It will be easy only. No need to worry about it. Just go. Let's me open like a glide user. Even for this also, we do have a methods. Okay, and there is a method with the purpose of it and the sample script as well. So everything which you can understand for sure. If there is like any concerns or if there is like something which you are not clear with, I'll be there for you. So I will clear those questions. Okay, so just check it out like in all the methods, and tomorrow I will start the concepts with like an glide record. Client scripts. Okay, so I'll go with like in client scripts tomorrow, and next we'll go with like in rest of the concepts which is available. Let me know if you have any queries. And yeah, I'll go with your questions now and check those documents for sure, guys. Let me know your questions now.
So Priyanka, the
Yeah.
glide record is completed.
Yeah, just check it out like in all the methods which is left, and I'm gonna share you like in the recording video which I have covered each and every concept till end of this document. So just check that one because we are running out of the time. Okay, and
Uh,
if you have any
can we stop recording?
sure.
Just one.